Film club.
Oh, it's your face kind of thing.
Yeah, it actually works all right.
Did you have to rate your face on 1 to ugly?
He doesn't even fit in that list.
Thank you very much for joining us from an episode of Film Club. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison, and to my right, as always, it's the only slightly ugly Andy Donaldson.
But not on the list.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We come back here, we dive into some of the cinema's best, and we talk it out. Andy, I'm so ill. What have we been watching?
What have we been watching this week? Well, you actually look like you're worse. You look a bit worse than the star feature character about this film. We've been watching Steve McQueen's Hunger, which is about the hunger strike that happened in Ireland back in the 80s.
Yeah. The political uprising with the IRA. And
yeah. You don't look malnourished. You just look fucked.
Do you know what? In this film, when he's having like those sort of like hallucination-y stuff towards the end, I was sitting there like, yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah, so I've seen it. I've seen it before. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and there was some scenes that came up, and I was just like, I remember that. I remember that. I remember this. It's just like coming back to me. It's the ending I couldn't quite remember. I know what happens at the end, of course, because it's based on a true story, but also I remember that from the film. I just don't remember how they went about it. Also, one scene I completely looked over last time I saw it. But that's how I feel. I'll come on to how I feel, sorry. How did you feel being your first time seeing it?
I want to put a pin in that, by the way. I want to guess the scene you overlooked.
You know fine well which scene it is.
So, what do I think of this? This was just delightful. This was a film that solidified my love for Steve McQueen. Like, I'd seen Shame, I'd seen 12 Years a Slave. He is such a phenomenal director.
I didn't realise how good he was until I watched like Shame and those long shots. Then obviously I revisited this. And obviously I knew 12 Years a Slave I mentioned before, but that seemed, I went to the cinema as if something, it's this, everyone's talking about this film. I'm looking forward to going back to that and seeing those long shots now.
Yeah.
Because like that went over me.
Absolutely. If you have never seen Shame, Hunger, 12 Years a Slave, 1, go and watch them all. And then 2, go and watch last week's episode of Film Club where we talk about Shame.
Because
we're in little introductions to Steve McQueen and whatnot there, but he's a guy that flies under the radar a little bit, I think, because of how few films he's made so far. He's literally made 3 films, a bunch of short films. And
this Hunger's his first one. It was done by Film 4, and that tends to be more of a kind of indie focus, independent kind of focus. Is that right?
Yeah, well, British films. Obviously, this is also funded by the Ireland Film Council.
Sorry, Ireland.
That's how you have to pronounce it as well. It's really fucking annoying every time.
I'm not even going to attempt an Irish accent.
And what's really nice about it, actually, I don't know if this is his actual accent or if it's accentuated, but seeing Michael Fassbender being allowed to be Irish in a film.
I mean, I was thinking this about the film. I was thinking, fucking hell, he does well in that scene that he's probably going to guess. Fassbender is obviously, he's done British in many films. You all right?
I'm so going to die by the end of this.
Inglourious Bastards, one example where he's a heavily British accent, heavily American accent. I mean, we probably Magneto.
X-Men.
Even though he's actually Polish, but
I love the scenes, by the way, in the X-Men films where he gets angry because his Irish accent comes through every time. He can't help it.
I think Fassbender does a good accent.
He's really good.
Obviously, just American accent, and yet in this, as mentioned, I'd be interested to see if that is his proper accent. I'd like to hear him. I'd
imagine it's thicker. I'd imagine he's putting it on a little bit more.
But yeah, because like I remember seeing something about Gary Oldman, who's also fantastic in accents, that he had to get a dialogue coach because he actually lost his English accent.
Right.
Maybe he was, because he lives in LA. He had to get someone to teach him how to speak back to his tongue. So maybe Fassbender, because he's done so many roles where he hasn't spoken Irish, or potentially, it sounds like he has. Has he lost it at all? Does he have to get retaught it?
Yeah.
Well, no, this is 2008, and those roles have come since then.
Exactly.
So I'd be interested to see if he came back and did an Irish accent.
So,
by the way, let's just go on about Fassbender, by the way.
Fassbender's amazing, and
he just kills it again.
What I find fascinating about Fassbender, he doesn't come into it for a good quarter of the film.
You focus on that bearded gaffer and his bearded mate.
Yeah, but also at the beginning sets up the guard.
Oh, the guard, yeah.
So
that was
when the film
I loved how it
starts-
came back, and you see him with his hand in there. Then you find out the moment that brought his hand in there, and then it moves on. Then you see about Bobby Sands.
Yeah, he does this weird sort of like montage way of storytelling where like you just get fragments of these memories and moments and stuff.
Again, heavy use of silence.
Oh,
lack of dialogue.
Even more so. Like this film has almost no dialogue.
Apart from
The scene I'm going to guess eventually when we get to it. And yeah, you get introduced to Michael Fassbender as almost your third protagonist.
yeah,
And then he becomes apprentice for the rest of the film. Amazing performance physically.
yes,
It's worth mentioning that
he went on a massive diet, didn't he?
you're like, oh my God. You know, we were talking about Philadelphia with Tom Hanks and
Machinist,
and Dallas Buyers Club
Dallas Buyers Club,
with Matthew McConaughey.
and Machinist with
This
Christian
is
Bale.
another one where it's like it's almost painful
Dedication
to
to
watch
their
just because
fucking
you
role.
feel.
I know.
I was feeling the hallucinations.
You were feeling like how little energy you had in that.
I was
scene.
so bad yesterday. I mean, I was like, I have to watch it, but okay, it made me connect with it more.
Did Natalie watch it? Just curiosity.
And so Natalie started watching it, then had work to do,
Fair
so
play. I'll
left
give
it,
that,
and then
Natalie.
came back in and was like, "It's really hard to watch. It's really disgusting."
Oh yeah, well, that's kind of like I think that's why he does it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Obviously, he wants you to empathise with just what actually went on, what went through. I mean, 9 people died overall? Because he says
Yeah,
obviously you got
yeah.
Bobby, then a further 8 people passed away.
that's what Steve McQueen I think does wonderfully. Is that he doesn't shy away from any moment. He really, really, really makes you watch awkward, uncomfortable situations when it's necessary.
What I really, really loved is throughout the film, the first 2/3, the first half, you see how the prison guards present the prisoners. Towards the end, you have everyone bending over backwards for Bobby in this. Like,
Yeah.
for example, the doctor, when he puts that kind of like that frame over his body.
Yeah.
So not like the bedding cover him. And it's just like absolute care and attention.
Yeah.
Doctors might be a bit different than the prison guards, but you see where I'm coming from. There's going from resentment to just absolute sincere care, and all for a protest, man. Like this is real. This was real fucking life.
Yeah.
Like that's what hits you because you are watching this film like Shame. Well, yes, it's about addiction that happens in real life. It's like 12 Years a Slave. It's like these are fucking real. That was both real people in both those films.
It's almost like if you put a magnifying glass onto a biopic instead,
Yes,
and actually just like told the story of this guy in this one moment.
and
of
it's
his life.
fucking Steve McQueen absolutely nails it with his heart wrenching, gut wrenching moments that he has, and then you got Fassbender to like just absolutely nail performance.
And then you've got, like we were talking about last week, Steve McQueen's really intense use of long shots and long takes. And then apparently he just went insane.
Can I just before we're going about the scene that you're going to guess?
Yeah.
I had Mike tell me, Mike, my mate from work who loves his film, was like, oh, what are you watching this week? I was like, oh, Shame. Oh, yeah, I've seen Hunger. Have you seen Hunger? I was like, yeah, we're doing it next week. Oh, mate, it's a good film. Just go at that scene, you know, the one where the corridor and he's brushing. You know what I mean? Just how long was that scene? That guy brushes and brushes and brushes, and you witness it all. It's all the piss that the prisoners are going out. Yeah. And it's like fucking, like you said, care, attention, and fucking dedication to long shots.
With that, and the scene where
You're trying to guess.
No, I'll get to that. The scene where they get taken out of their cells and
the camera pans around
the cavity search.
Yes,
like,
oh my days. And can I just say, the sound on that scene, it's just that drum.
The smacking of the thing, yeah.
It's the only thing throughout that, mate. I will probably go on in a second, but go on.
And I thought we'd had his big long shot in that because it's very sort of like it watches him go through the whole thing. It goes from like different people. He passes over different characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was going to be like the impressive one shot. And the scene, which I'm going to guess,
oh my god, you got to guess it.
Is the dialogue scene.
Oh my days.
Because it's almost the only dialogue scene.
Yeah, you have like little bits here and there. You know, he's talking to his parents. Then you just like, apart from that, the whole film's flat in terms of dialogue. Then suddenly, Fassbender and Liam Cunningham, credit to him, those who are like Liam Cunningham, great actor.
They have the longest dialogue scene I've ever seen in a film that is all one shot.
It's
static.
20 minutes. 20 minutes, I think. What actually happened is the scene's on about it's fucking amazing.
So it does cut at one point to like close-ups and stuff, and then it cuts back out to the two shot. But
Yeah,
Karen.
yeah, you're right. But the close-up shots are towards the end. I think.
Yes, yeah. I mean, let's say it's 20 minutes. I didn't look up how long it was. If it's 20 minutes,
It'll be about 17.
they'd come in about 17 minutes, and you get another 2 minutes at the end of the two shot.
Still impressive.
It's
So he comes in. I can't remember the name of the priest. So Cunningham, Liam Cunningham.
we'll call him Priest Cunningham.
Comes in and he has a cigarette with Bobby, and he's like, here you go, like this, and we're having a bit of small talk like this, just like, oh yeah, it's a bit shy, don't you miss the countryside? Yeah, but it's a job like this. So why do you call me over? Because it's Bobby that's called him over, and you're like, why have you called him over and all this? And then start laying on a little bit about why he's going to go for this, what he's going to do. Oh well, the dirt strike, what's it called, the fill strike didn't work, and it was a shite to go. No pun intended, shite to go through. And they actually did a previous hunger strike before, but he said it wasn't formulated. They didn't go like everyone like kind of fell ill at once. They didn't do it like one by one. They all passed, which is what happened. We're gonna go at it again. And he goes, Priest Cunningham goes, you will might die. What about your son? And then, oh my days, that intense monologue from Fassbender, from Bobby Sands, where he just goes on about it's the deer, is it? Yeah,
the fawn that he finds in the river and has to kill.
Oh my days! And then it just drops. Then Cunningham, the priest, he has just this look about him where he's lost his ability to change his mind. He knows that your mind's already changed. He almost like walks off, but he can't. He doesn't do it because I think he's part of the movement as well, or something, isn't he? They seem to be on the same side, allied sort of thing.
Yeah, he organized the previous hunger strike or something.
The priest.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he was very much involved in that one.
But so it's just like it's almost like he's lost, but at the same time he knows it's just hard. It's again because it really fucking happened.
Yeah, this whole dialogue scene is basically there to flesh out the weird grey morality of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And talk about is this right? Is this wrong? Are you doing it the right way? Do you have options? Like it's just there to really hash out all the complexities that's currently going on.
The what happened then is obviously all one shot is supposedly Liam Cunningham actually moved into Michael Fassbender's flat, lived there for I think it was 4 days or something daft. And then they would rehearse this scene about 12, 14 times a day.
Oh my god!
Yep. So imagine that 17. That would take a lot of time.
That's impressive because then, it's not simple dialogue either.
No, not at all. It's because you go from small talk, you go to the more moving stuff, and at the end, where obviously Fassbender's monologue, which is the part where it does cut in. To be fair,
but it's effective as well.
Oh, aye. But that was done perfectly on the fourth shot.
On the what?
The fourth shot.
A fourth take.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know.
That's really, really impressive because, like I said, it's not simple dialogue. They don't leave each other lots of room to wait for responses. It's very back and forth, and there's little movements with like getting a cigarette and lighting a cigarette and like that. My favorite thing about it is that it's a great frame as well.
Oh, just the two of them like that.
It's a really simple, effective frame with this backlight and the smoke fills it and everything. And this goes to something that we completely missed over last week, unfortunately. We touched on how beautiful Shame was.
Yes.
And this film is also stunningly beautiful. That is because of Sean Bobbitt, who is Steve McQueen's long-time collaborator. Like, he's done all three of his films.
Yep.
And he just brings this immense level of sophistication to cinematography. And what better... You couldn't do a 20-minute dialogue scene if you didn't have faith that your cinematographer could set up a shot which will maintain interest for 20 minutes. So credit to Steve McQueen and Sean Bobbitt.
Well played, Sean Bobbitt. Nice one. Thank you.
What can we call him? The Bobs?
The Bobbinator. Sorry, I've killed him. It's really interesting. So you asked me a question last week. You asked me, like, how does Shame compare to Hunger and to 12 Years?
So how are you feeling about it now?
I would say Shame is... I say it all goes back to 12 Years. I think 12 Years is hitting the nail on the head because whilst, yes, it's a magnifying glass and a snippet of what happened, that's just not one person that kind of stuff happened to. It's fucking, disgustingly happened to many, 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 many thousands.
So your choice is 12 Years?
12 Years is the most hard-hitting. It's the most moving, I think. And I don't look forward to the day after I watch it again because it will fucking make me cry.
I know exactly what you mean.
then I would say Hunger. Maybe again more so partly because it is a biopic. It was based on Bobby Sands. That stuff happened, and I think part of it being British as well. I feel like shitty as fuck about the way, like just some of the ways that the
the way that they're
I know again, it's not me. It's not like my direct ancestors anyway. But at the same time, just Steve McQueen does a really good way of making us look cunts, like cunts. Sorry. And then Shame's more like, yes, it's not a biopic, but it's about addiction in general, which I can't say is something I've experienced.
Do you know what's really interesting?
Apart from film addiction.
I would...
you'd say that.
I would flip that list for me. That list is completely the opposite for me. I go shame, hunger, 12 years.
What makes you say that?
I think... Because I've had like experience with indie filmmaking, I really, really appreciate a production on a small scale.
Oh, so you're saying, because 12 years, obviously, good point, yeah.
12 years is a huge scale, and you can tell it's got a much bigger budget.
Well, that's not the question, though.
The most concise. You talk about which is most effective?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. If you just talk which one's most emotionally effective, it's 12 years, obviously, because it just makes you feel like the worst human being imaginable.
I agree.
I would then say it's Shame and Hunger, but those two are very, very close.
I agree.
It's interesting that Steve McQueen is basically our moral mirror.
Yep.
That's what he does, is he holds up a mirror
and says, look what the fuck you guys did.
Yeah.
Or look at the fuck you're doing.
Look what people did or do, and is this... He never explicitly says this is wrong to almost anything. No. It just makes you watch.
Yeah. And then it makes you assess your life and think, did I make the right decisions? Yeah. Am I making the right decisions?
Yeah.
It's fucking hell. I kind of that's what hits you.
It's so powerful.
Going back on what you said, probably, when you misinterpreted it, not misinterpreted, you know what I mean? The question.
He's touching me again.
Oh no, I might catch it.
I'm going to lick you later.
Oh.
Carry on.
So my favourite out of the three, again, I'd probably have to revisit 12 years to appreciate some of the shots that I might have missed first time round. I think the use of music in Shame maybe puts it just above.
Yep.
But obviously that scene, the one use of major sound scene, wording.
It's difficult because Hunger's not. It's not like Hunger would be better with music. It wouldn't be.
No, I agree. I think
silence
the lack
is perfect.
I'm thinking now. I can't remember any music, and I quite like that because the use of silence is amazing. The use of sound design as well. You know, the shit smear all over, and that's all you hear, and you just think, "Fucking this."
I love the cold cuts that he does as well sometimes, where he'll go from silence and cut into a shot which is really loud, or go from something really loud and just cut to silence.
Yeah.
It's very, very effective. But yeah, he's a stunning filmmaker, and I cannot wait to see what he does next.
I know. Has he actually got a film lined up?
So right now on IMDb there is one listed for this year.
What?
But it doesn't have like any photos or posters or anything up yet, so it might get pushed back next year.
Interesting. Well, we will do 12 years at some point.
I think it said something about women in Chicago.
Okay.
So for now, there is Hunger. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Hunger, or you can hit us up on Twitter, as always. We'll be back once again next week, though, by request. Do you remember what the film is?
Rio Grande.
Oh, so close. Rio Bravo.
Fuck.
So, by request, thank you very much for sending this request. I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, you're fucking good at it.
I know, I'm so
He's our
good.
Twitter guy.
It's down here. I do apologise. No, it was on YouTube. Yeah.
You're a YouTube guy.
If you want to request a film, by all means, pop it down in the comments below. We'll see if we can fit it in. Because we would love to start exploring some of your films if you have anything you wish for us to cover. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next week, or hopefully I'll be less ill and Andy will be less ugly.
You fucking wanker.